Zach was a 10-year-old boy who loved to learn but sometimes found school challenging. He had messy brown hair that never seemed to stay in place and bright green eyes that sparkled when he was excited. Zach was good at many things, like running fast and telling funny jokes, but when it came to math and spelling, he often felt lost. One day, as Zach walked to school, he kicked a small stone along the sidewalk. He was worried about the big math test coming up. Numbers always seemed to jumble in his head, making him feel confused and frustrated. As he neared the school, something shiny caught his eye. There, half hidden in the grass, was a pencil unlike any he'd ever seen. It was bright blue with little stars that seemed to twinkle along its length. Curious, Zach picked it up. "Wow," he whispered, turning it over in his hands. It felt warm and seemed to hum with energy. Zach slipped it into his backpack, excited to use it in class. When math time came, Zach pulled out the blue pencil. As soon as he touched it to his paper, something amazing happened. The numbers on the page began to dance. They rearranged themselves into neat, easy-to-understand groups. Suddenly, the problems that had seemed so hard before made perfect sense. Zach blinked in surprise but kept working. With each question he answered, he felt more and more confident. By the end of class, he had finished all his work for the first time ever. His teacher, Ms. Johnson, looked surprised when Zach turned in his paper. "Wonderful job, Zach," she said with a smile. "You've made great progress." Zach beamed with pride. He couldn't wait to use the pencil again. In his next class, spelling, Zach faced another challenge. Words had always been tricky for him, the letters getting mixed up in his mind. But when he used the blue pencil to write, something magical happened again. The letters glowed softly, arranging themselves in the correct order. Zach found he could spell even the hardest words with ease. Day after day, Zach used the magical pencil. His grades improved, and he started to enjoy school more than ever. His parents were thrilled, and his friends were impressed by his new skills. But as the weeks went by, Zach began to notice something strange. The pencil was getting shorter and shorter. Its magic seemed to be fading too. The numbers didn't dance quite as much, and the letters didn't glow as brightly. One morning, Zach woke up to find the pencil was now just a tiny stub. Panic set in. How would he do well in school without its magic? With a heavy heart, Zach went to school that day. In math class, he stared at the problems on his paper, feeling lost. But then, something unexpected happened. As he looked at the numbers, he realized he could understand them, even without the pencil's help. All those weeks of seeing the numbers arranged neatly had taught him how to organize them in his mind. He worked through the problems slowly but surely, and to his amazement, he got them right. The same thing happened in spelling class. The words didn't glow, but Zach found he could remember how to spell them. The pencil's magic had taught him tricks for remembering tricky words. After school, Zach ran to find his best friend, Lily. "You won't believe what happened," he exclaimed, telling her all about the magical pencil. Lily listened with wide eyes. "Wow, Zach. That's amazing," she said. But then she looked confused. "But if the pencil is gone, how did you do well in class today?" Zach thought for a moment. I think the pencil's real magic was teaching me how to learn," he said slowly. "It showed me that I could understand things if I looked at them the right way from that day on." Zach approached his schoolwork with new confidence. He still found some things challenging, but he didn't give up. He remembered how the pencil had shown him to break big problems into smaller parts and to look for patterns in words and numbers. Zach's teachers were impressed by his progress. "You've really blossomed this year, Miss," Johnson told him. "Whatever you're doing, keep it up." Zach just smiled. He knew the real magic wasn't in a pencil, it was in believing in himself and never giving up. As the school year went on, Zach discovered he had a talent for helping other students who were struggling. He remembered how confused he used to feel and found ways to explain things that made sense to his classmates. "You should be a teacher when you grow up," his friend Tom said one day after Zach helped him with a tough math problem. Zach grinned. "Maybe I will," he said. The idea of helping others learn and discover their own magic appealed to him. When summer came, Zach's parents took him to the beach as a reward for his hard work. As he played in the sand, he spotted something glinting in the sunlight. It was another pencil, this one silver with little moons on it. For a moment, Zach was tempted to pick it up. But then he smiled and shook his head. He didn't need magic pencils anymore. He had discovered the magic of learning, and that was the greatest gift of all. As he ran to join his parents in the waves, Zach felt happier than he ever had before. School would always have its challenges, but now he knew he could face them. And who knows? Maybe someday he'd be the teacher helping other kids discover their own magical abilities to learn and grow. That night, as Zach lay in bed listening to the sound of the ocean, he thought about all he had learned. It wasn't just about math and spelling, it was about believing in himself, working hard, and never giving up. He fell asleep with a smile on his face, excited for all the new things he would learn tomorrow. And so, Zach's journey continued. He faced each new challenge with determination and curiosity. Sometimes things were hard, but he always remembered the lesson of the magical pencil. The real magic was inside him all along.